how cute the squirrels are. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, look, one of them almost ate out of my hand. Uh-oh, now they're eating the bird seed. Okay, well, let's get a bird-proof squirrel feeder. And that'll keep from eating the bird seed. So they would get on top of it and literally lift the lid off of it and go down inside. So she taped the lid on, right? Well, that stopped them from doing that. Then they ate a hole in the side of it. A freaking hole. They ate a hole in the side of the plastic to get the birdseed out. Well, then they couldn't get to the birdseed in the bottom, so they just literally ripped the bottom of it off. So the bottom of it has a hole. And we're like, okay, well, I guess that didn't work. We're gonna have to figure out how to keep the squirrels out of the birdseed. And this is an age-old battle. I love the videos of the squirrel launchers and things like that, but this is on another level. And even this feed bucket, look what they did. This is a serious feed bucket. This thing's no joke. It's supposed to be rodent-proof. Okay. So my wife texts me this morning and says my car is running rough and all the lights are on, including the check engine light. And something is amiss under there.
What is that?
That's a rat.
What? He's right there. Let me see. He's big.
Okay, that was scary. There's a wire that's chewed right there. Right above the nest. So we'll have to get that figured out. Looks like there might be some others right there. Hopefully it's right in the middle. Okay, well, you guys are probably going to laugh at this, but I don't know what else to do. Maybe you'll give me some ideas in the comments. That was the rat nest right there. So I pulled it out and got this wire soldered back together that was on this harness, just with some 20 gauge or 18 gauge. Anyway, got it soldered, shrink wrapped, and so that's all good now. And that was the only one wire that they chewed through. So hopefully that's all that's causing my codes. I'll have to find out in a few minutes when I put the OBD2 scanner on and see if we cleared them. But I'm just taking this old screen, and this is just aluminum screen, I think is what it is, or steel. It's steel, I guess. It's not aluminum. And it's pretty fine. And I wish I had some heavier duty stuff, but I'm wrapping this in this, and hopefully they won't chew through this. And so I just started the wrap up here, wrapped down and kind of overlapped and overlapped and overlapped, put a zip tie on there, and then started again, and wrapped, put a zip tie there, and then I'll overlap that zip tie. I started to use metal zip ties because I have some metal ones, and that would probably be better. But I worried about them cutting through my, my loom. But what I did was, to prevent that, I wrapped this heavily in duct tape where the wires were bare, like right around the connectors. And not duct tape, but Gorilla Tape. So hopefully that'll protect those from this wire right here, because that could cut through as well, right? So this is kind of a risk. I wish there was a product out there that did this already that would be easy to slide over, or that was split down the middle, so you could just slip it over and then zip tie it or whatever. That would be good for rodents. One of my buddies at work just had his boat chewed from a muskrat underneath the water on some hydraulics that push out some kind of like an arm or this that makes a big wake. And I don't understand exactly how that works, but it sounds like it's an electric over hydraulic system, and they chew the electric wires all up. So it's going to be a $1,500 harness, so there should be a product out there that I just don't know about. So if you know something, let me know. All right, so we're going to proceed with this and just keep wrapping this all the way around here, because he's probably going to come back and build a nest up here. We've set some traps out. Hopefully we'll catch him before he does that, but hopefully this in the meantime will keep these safe and get this car rolling again. All right, so this is real redneck, right? And maybe a pro is the mouse won't chew it. He chewed through a copper wire, which obviously is softer than this steel. And this is some sharp stuff. I mean, it's poking holes in me. So I'm a little worried. I think it might be good that he might not chew through it, but I'm also worried that it might poke holes in something else that I don't want holes poked in. So this may not be the best solution. I recognize that this may cause its own problems, but until I have a better solution, this is what I'm doing. Okay, so it's saying P1613, manufacturer control auxiliary inputs, P1613. Let's clear these. 0 codes remain. Let's start it and see if they go. Seatbelt, park. It's good so far. All right, maybe our redneck wiring fix will work. Well, it's 5 days later. I go to start this morning and it's running rough, and sure enough, cylinder 3 misfire. And that's what I kind of assumed it was. And of course I got under the hood and found this right over here. And there's our misfire. And it also chewed up that spot right there again that I taped over. And I'm just thank the Lord that it's not anything underneath the intake manifold. I don't have to pull the intake manifold, at least not right now. Started to build a nest again. See the greenery. And more greenery over here. All right, kind of sucks. Okay, well, I guess the good news is he kind of chewed it right in the middle of that run, you know, that little wire section right there. So it should be a fairly easy repair. This one right here, it looks like he chewed through the wire loom, but didn't get the sheath of the actual wire. So I'll wrap that up, protect that. And I guess I'll go ahead and wrap all these others just to protect them in the meantime. While we're waging war on this stupid thing, you know, we're putting rat poison out, we're putting bucket traps, we're putting like a steel trap, like a little leg trap, and we're just trying to catch him, and nothing's working. So I don't know. We'll have to keep fixing stuff until we get this thing killed. Okay. Here's the repair. Still solder, it's pretty solid. Get these bent over like this. Just had to add this little section right here in between because it got cut right there, and there's, if I shorten it, then it might not reach the connector down there, right? So had to add a little bit. And if it's a little too much, I guess it's no big deal. We'll just wrap some wire loom around it. Get this bent down toward each other, pull this over it, and that's going to take a little bit of work. And then get it heat shrinked, and then get it wrapped, and then get it wrapped in wire. Screen rather, metal screen. Okay, you may laugh, but unless you got a better idea, you know, please let me know. They're all wrapped up pretty good. You know, I wrapped the wire like here at the end of this, right at the back side of this connector where the wire's kind of exposed between the wire loom. I added some wire loom and then wrapped it with a bunch of Gorilla tape just to keep it nice and tight there and keep it covered from this so this doesn't potentially poke through it. It's pretty flimsy stuff, so I don't think that'll happen. But you know, if that rat's chewing through copper wire, I don't think this is gonna stop it. This may like slow it down. So hopefully it'll keep another disaster from happening. All right, well, I gotta get this back together, get the code cleared, and get it running. Now, a couple things here. It looks like they kind of chewed it back right there and started to build a nest again, but we caught them. And how we caught them was we used a rat trap. We put this rat trap in here like this, and it's a, you know, this is a real rat trap. This isn't a little mouse trap. This is about 7 inches long. So this is the real deal. Put peanut butter on it, and they just licked it off, never triggered it. They put cheese on it, they just ate it off, never triggered it. So there's like 2 nights we didn't catch them. Then my wife watched a video of 2 plumbers, and hopefully I can find the link. If I can, I'm going to put the link at the end of this video, so look for it. Maybe I can find it again. But basically these 2 plumbers were showing how to catch mice, and it was a trip watching them because they said mice will just lick your stuff off or they'll ignore it. So he said what we do is they do 2 things. They put a piece of, not foam, but a piece of sponge on the trigger, and you got to tie it to the trigger. That way, and then they soak it in peanut butter. So what I did was I ran a piece of wire around. I just cut a couple holes and ran a piece of wire around so that I could tie it, this piece of sponge, to the trigger. And it's just a little piece about that long, maybe about that big around, you know, not very big around, but enough that you can tie a big chunk on there, tie it on there, cake it with peanut butter. And what they'll do is they'll grab that and they'll pull on the foam. And if it's tied there, it'll trigger the trap. So, and that's how we caught him. That very night we caught him. The other thing you do is not just peanut butter, but they said sprinkle cinnamon on it. And I was like, okay, whatever. But there's something about cinnamon that attracts them. And sure enough, we caught him, bam, that night. We thought we caught the only one. And after it chewed these wires, so we didn't put any more traps out. Well, it had a buddy. And so when it chewed the injector wire, we had to put another trap in. And sure enough, we did the same thing. And that very night, we caught him again. So we've set the trap several times since then, and we just set the trap on top of this little box here, oh, it's still a fuse box, and that seemed to work well. If we closed the hood all the way and like closed it and latched it, we worried that this would hit the top of the hood, so we just barely closed the lid, just enough for the first, so the latch just sat right here and the hood just kind of sat open like about that much, and that was plenty, and we still caught them. Okay, so we were blaming the poor squirrels. Obviously they weren't even the problem, but these rats sure were. They sure destroyed things, and we love our 4Runner, and just another way to keep it going. That's one of the costs of living up in the hills and the mountains. There's animals that come around, and you can have rats in town, of course. There's probably more rats in town than there are in the mountains, but anyway, this is one of the risks of living in the mountains, of course. All right, so hopefully this helped you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.